anyways, I'm here to present Pepper Hugh, the president of Hugh Insurance Agency, Farmers Insurance. Pepper Hugh devoted herself to insurance industry right after she graduated from Pepperdine Business School. She has been an insurance agent for 7 years and currently operating a farmers insurance agency. Pepper started her own agency by acquiring a retired agency in May 2020 during the most severe time of COVID. However, COVID didn't slow her down. She doubled her book size in 1.5 years, helping 1,080 families with their insurance needs. In the most recent year-to-date report, Pepper's agency was ranking 3rd place in Southern California in the amount of 2,200 farmers agencies. Pepper and her team are fast, accurate, and professional. Once you provide a contact of the client and escrow, you can expect them to get the client's information, prepare a home quote, present to the client and get the client's confirmation, send an approved quote to escrow, and CC you and the client. All the above works can be done within only 20 minutes. There will for sure follow up with all the parties and keep everyone with assurance update until the end of the escrow. All you need to do is just send her a phone number and you will see everything done in 20 minutes. Pepper describes their quoting procedure as autopilot. Not only being a driver and quoting new business, Pepper and her team are very comprehensive on claim services. Her office handled 364 claims in the year 2021. Abundant claims experience can definitely bring a peace of mind to the customer when their house are in a condition of water damage and fire damage. Pepper is also very active person in her free time. You may see her jump around different studios for hip hop dancing, or you may see her in a golf course. Sometimes you may meet her in the ocean for jet ski and flyboard fishing. Everyone, I welcome you to hear Pepper Hugh, President of Farmers Insurance Agency, Hugh Agency.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you. Hi, everybody. It's my pleasure today to give a little speech and then introduction about all the horror story I have been experiencing the past few months. Like there was 3 statements that I have been heard a lot recently from realtors. They said, I have been in the real estate industry many years, never thought of this escrow can be stopped by insurance. And someone told me, why can't I obtain an insurance quote anywhere? And somebody said, the escrow told me everything's in good order, but an insurance EOI is missing. Just to be clear, those complaints not from my agency. It's from the other insurance agency, but I was the one helping them out to solve the problem. Insurance used to be a really small part of the escrow because I know realtors has to deal with multiple troubles in their 30 or 45 days. But right now, this small part becomes big problem in some transactions. Today, I'm going to share some stories that I have been experiencing, and I will show how I solved this problem. So give you some idea in the future. If you have any similar situation, how should we deal with them? Okay, the first story. One of the buyer cannot obtain insurance because the buyer showing an open claim when they're trying to get insurance. The claim amount was about $150,000 for a home insurance claim. Can you imagine that? That's a large amount, which makes this insurer unable to get any insurance anywhere. So this case is a little bit interesting. It's actually the listing agent come to me for help because usually we'll have to disclose all the information when we're trying to, when we're in the transaction, right? So when the buyer try to get insurance, they still a claim will come up. They're thinking the listing agent tried to hide something. They didn't disclose the information. They want to cancel escrow because they think the seller is not being honest. However, when I search the address history in the insurance industry, in the insurance system, I didn't see any record, which means the record is on buyer, not on address. So here we know if the home ever have a loss, the loss doesn't only come with the address, it also comes with the person who owned the house. Okay, so I searched the buyer's information, then there comes the claim. Claim shows the buyer has the amount have an open claim that hasn't been closed for $152,000. And this is from the company called Allied Mutual Insurance Company. Okay, and then here actually has a lost address. So I confirmed with the client, did you ever live there? She said, no. So here comes the problem. There must be a wrong claim assigned to this person. What do I do? The insurance agent for this buyer told her, nothing I can do. You have to go to California Fair Plan. The premium will be triple. But I was able to finally insure her with $1,000 for almost 3,000 square footage home. What do I do? Look at here. There's a resource called A+. A+ is the agency like holding all the records for the claims. So we call them, make multiple phone calls. It's pretty much like we're calling DMV, a lot of calls, a lot of transfers. Finally reach the right person. And we find out the actual person who has the claim, the name of that person has one letter difference than our insurer. So it's just a misspelling of the client's name from this insurance company, making the other innocent person having this claim all over her record. And she's unable to obtain the insurance. And this transaction is almost canceled. In this case, what we do, we help them submit a form to dispute the whole claim. However, this information takes 2 weeks to be cleared, but escrow is going to be closed in 1 week. And then the rate is changed, interest rates change every day. So it's like an urgent situation. In this case, it's good for a farmer's agent to do this work because we're exclusive. Our headquarters is in California. It's the only company has a California headquarters. We know the situation. We have a better communication way, and my production is really high among the whole company. So the underwriter talked to me. I have the flexibility. I show the form for the dispute, and I take the statement from the A+ guy by the email and submit to my underwriter. So they make an exception. I was able to issue the EOI to the escrow to make escrow close. And after 2 weeks, we submit a final approval to underwriter to make the policy back to the lower premium. And the escrow check usually arrive later, but the policy already effective. So that's how we save this home insurance. Just saving a small case to me, but I secure a large deal with this escrow and this realtor. And the second, this story, 14 months effort was almost gone because the buyer was not able to obtain insurance. It is actually a vacant land sale. It's hard. The agent tried to sell it for 14 months. It says they're almost close. However, the buyer wants to use their own insurance agent. At the very last moment, the agent told them, sorry, my underwriter declined your quote. The escrow was scheduled to be closed on March 31st, 12:30 p.m. That's a cutoff time. And the buyer's agent told them until 11 a.m., sorry, my underwriter still declined that. I'm not able to issue a EOI to you. And the March 31, if everybody remember that week is a dramatic week that like insurance, like loan rate increase a lot. Everybody going to have a crazy time if they have their loan expired. So the agent reached out to me and I studied the case. This is the land. There's some plant on the land. The other insurance agent was present to the underwriter saying that that's a garden. So if that's a garden, the underwriter feel, well, people may visit there, they may fall, they may get injured, and then nobody was watching out there. There's a business operation. So it's not a vacant land. I'm going to decline you. However, I take time, talk to the realtors, talk to the client, and I find out it's not a garden. See this little building here? It's a church. The church used to own this land, and they put some plants, have the kids to learn how to grow plants, just for some activities. So right now they sold the land, they will take out the plant and take out the wires. So this land will be clean and free. However, the escrow is closing in 1 hour. How can I find someone to take up the plant and take a photo? It's unable, it's impossible. So what I do, I tell the underwriter, please give me approval right now, and I guarantee you in 15 days, we will hire someone to remove all the plant and put a sign, do not transparency. The underwriter feel comfortable. Okay, so when we're doing the reason that we can solve the problem and we can solve the problem fast because we understand the logic, how the other party works. The underwriter of an insurance company, they don't want business. They want no loss. They rather decline you rather than take you. I need to make them feel comfortable in order for them to give me any exact answer. So in this case, I read an email with all the questions she may asking and give her the answer, give her the solution in one email. And I was able to get the realtor agent reached out to me on 11 o'clock. I was able to issue EOI on 11:40. So the escrow read me 3 thank you letter. Thank you for helping us close this deal. This is how we solve this problem. 14 months, the agent tried to sell this land 14 months, it's almost gone, this deal. And the third story is the duplicate submission. It's a California Fair Plan case. It's actually happened yesterday. So I added it onto my slides. California Fair Plan allows all the agents to do submissions, but they only look at the most risky submission. For example, if I said I'm an insurance agent in this place, but the other people said I'm selling guns in this premises, they will only look at the other one's application because they want to make sure they understand the most risky risk. So when we're submitting any insurance, how the difference, how we describe this risk will make underwriting have a different feeling. And then nowadays, many people are using LLC to own their property. It can be done in a commercial insurance, or it can also be done in a real estate, in a residential insurance. If the unit in one building is not over 4 units, we can still put in them in residential insurance. It's easier underwriting, cheaper premium, fast approval. However, if some agent doesn't know the trick, they put them in commercial, longer underwriting, more information, much more premium. In this case, they have 6 buildings in this Big Bear hotel, but each building only have 1 unit. So I do 6 applications. I got a quote in the same day. When I try to submit in the second day for the final approval, for the final rate, and then the underwriting told me, sorry, the client have the other agency submitted another submission. That submission saying that this is a commercial property. They put everything in one policy. Right now, they're requesting a diagram, a bird's eye photo. Bird's eye photo is okay to obtain, but who have the diagram? Maybe I'm asking you, every realtor agent, do you ever ask for diagram when we're trying to buy a house from the seller agent? No, nobody even asked that. So they have to go to city to put a permit to show the actual structure of everything. Right now, the escrow is hanging there. They have to push another week for the escrow. So I'm telling the client, if you're finding an agency, just look into that agency, stick to it. Shopping around with different agency for the same carrier is not really a wise decision. Okay. Somehow can now move forward. Okay, here. And then I do have some experience from some loan bank. They have a hard time obtaining EOI from insurance agency. The escrow was delayed. The reason is the agent who's handled this case is on vacation, and the agent's office, they don't cover each other because they're on commission basis. I don't take care of your case because I don't get commission. So this happened a lot. I got complained with some of my partner loan officers. What I want to tell you guys is like, this can be happening in some agency, but you can always have a backup agency who always give you a support whenever you need it. Some of my friends or some of my real estate agent partners, if their clients, buyers, insurance agent doesn't perform, they just shoot me an email, get a call, get it everything through escrow really fast. And then we can talk to other things, convince the client later, but we just want everything move. So what I can say in my agency, why we don't have this problem, because we don't only pay commission on each case for the producers. We pay bonus on the whole team production. So everybody's case has a benefit to them. Like I have 4 producers and then 7 services people in my office. If the whole production reaches a certain level, everybody get bonus. That's why we cover for each other. That's how the agency owner design their structure to make their employee help each other and happy to help each other. Okay, here's my presentation. Any questions for me?
Thank you so much, Pepper. We greatly appreciate that. I think before we go into the questioning, we are going to hear from our very next speaker. And that next speaker is going to be Mr. Jimmy from Loan Depot. So Mr. Jimmy, you are up to tell us about your horror stories in real estate transactions and how to prevent them.
Well, before he goes on, let me share a little bit about him.
That's right. Thank you, Jacqueline.
You're welcome. Hi, everyone. Okay. Jimmy Wakimoto started off his career as an aerospace engineer, but discovered a passion for real estate and turned it into a career. He's owned and managed income property in California and other states as well. He's worked at a mortgage broker and loan officer at a large bank, and he's currently a senior loan consultant at LoanDepot. LoanDepot is a direct lender, but also has access to loan programs of over 50 other lenders. Over the past 25 years, Jimmy has helped over 1,000 clients meet their mortgage and real estate goals. He's especially skilled at finding a loan that best meets the needs for each individual client. His technical background has made him uniquely qualified to analyze complex financial situations and propose innovative solutions. Jimmy is also a leader. He tends to take a leadership role in everything that he's involved in. He's the experienced go-to guy for nearly everything at his office. And he's also a leader in his community, having served on the board of directors for several nonprofit organizations. He's conducted numerous professional and consumer direct training workshops and seminars. He loves to teach everyone about wealth building through real estate. Teaching is his passion, and helping others is one of his core values. In his free time, he likes to spend time outdoors, hiking and backpacking. Everyone, I welcome you, Jim Wakimoto, a senior loan consultant from LoanDepot.
Oh, thank you very much for that introduction. So make sure you can see my screen. It should be the horror stories and solutions. Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Let me see. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So my contact information here, I'm local here. I'm here in Torrance. We have a really nice office. It's 3,000 square feet right next to Del Mama. Most people know where that is, but here's my address and contact information. Okay. And actually, I wanted to also thank you for the opportunity to come here and share. And this is my thing. Like Jacqueline mentioned, it is my passion. It's kind of funny I say that. It's not really my passion. I don't think. It's just I kind of can't help myself. I open my mouth and I teach, you know. So that's kind of like what I do. Okay. So starting off here on our theme here about the horror stories. This is something right here that I'm just showing you. Just grabbed it from the internet. Horror stories, you know, in real estate. These things do happen. But I'm going to just go a little bit different take on this. I have a number of different examples that I'm going to introduce, but I'm going to spend a lot more time on the solutions. Okay, so we'll go from here. And also, I wanted to say it doesn't have to be a terrible horror story. Any issue, you know, at the wrong time can kill the deal. And, you know, in these real estate transactions, we have a very short time frame. So, excuse me 1 second. So yeah, the timing is critical. So these are a couple of horror stories, and I'm just going to go over each one verbally on some of the things that happened. This particular deal right here, we were in, I guess they were using a different lender. They're trying to purchase a home with a reverse mortgage, and it didn't work out because the loan officer didn't consider the 90-day flip rule for FHA, and they weren't able to do the loan that they were trying to do. So we got the deal, and we had to close it in 15, it was like 10 business days. So it was just under 15 days that we had to do that. And it turned out to be 17 days, but not due to anything that we didn't do, but just understanding that we were able to do that. That's actually quite interesting for me. We're able to do that with a strict timeline, and things like this that are very real world that really hurt is the lesson that we learned there is we got the appraisal from the other company who couldn't, who couldn't do the loan. And we learned that lesson that we never want to do that again because it took them almost 2 weeks to get the appraisal to us. In the end, we ended up actually getting another appraisal anyway, but things like that that come up that, you know, we need to be aware of. So this is something that comes up kind of often, and I'm going to talk about the 4 C's a little bit later, but this right here, second item here about ineligible funds. We found out recently in a transaction that we can't pull funds from a child's custodial account. Those are, I guess, funds that there's rules around those accounts we can't pull money out of. There's another deal here that I had recently where the other lender took 6 weeks to get the approval, and the seller was about to cancel, and they actually would not move forward with us until we provided a timeline that they actually put in the contract that we had to perform to this timeline and such. And we did daily updates. If you know anything about transactions like this, we actually have to get everybody on board, and at every step of the transaction, we have to rush and rush and rush. So we were able to do that. And that one we also did in 15 days. There's a situation here where we had unpermitted addition. In that particular situation, again, we got that one from another lender. And in that case, just because of our guidelines and the flexibility that we have, we were actually able to just do the transaction as is. And we didn't even have a reduction in the appraised value. We were just able to do the transaction as is. And let's see. This is actually something that's going to be pretty common because of COVID, and you know how kind of a lot of lifestyles and people's lifestyles has changed. A lot of the banks actually right now, they're not accepting an owner-occupied property like in a different state or someplace far away. You know, if your company is in LA and you're buying your house in Montana or some other location, it's completely legitimate. You're going to owner-occupy. You're going to be living there, but a lot of people in the past, they would use stories like that to try to get income property. This is very real, but still the banks are not allowing that, but we're able to remedy that with basically pretty simple, just a letter from the employer saying that this is the way that they're working. Okay. We have another situation right here where this came in, the appraisal, and the seller refused to remedy that situation. Because we do renovation loans, we can actually get an FHA appraisal, and FHA automatically adds 10% to the value of the property. So even though there's not, if it's, you know, we don't actually have any higher value for the property, but because we can use that FHA 2 or 3K loan, the property value boosts 10%, and that generates enough money for us to get a loan in excess so that we'll have money left over to do the repairs. And this is actually something that I found out for myself recently. Most of the loans that, you know, we do are more local, but these days, you know, with the prices the way they are, people are going outside. And this was something in Kern County where I didn't realize that they had some very special, very expensive fire insurance that they had to get for their property. So whenever something comes up that's a little bit outside the norm, we have to just, you know, kind of be aware and be ready to pivot because we know that something's going to come up that we hadn't heard of before. In that one, we were able to remedy that with a special way that we can actually buy out the mortgage insurance. So instead of having to pay mortgage insurance on this property, we were able to do a lump sum and have the mortgage insurance go away. So that freed up space in our qualifying ratios to be able to accommodate that higher amount for the insurance. Okay. And so I have this list right here. So I'm kind of just going generically, not in specific things that we've worked on recently, but a whole bunch of things that can go wrong because these are all the different areas that are involved. Of course, the buyer, the seller, the realtors, the lender or lenders, the property can have an issue, the appraisers involved, and also inspectors. So, you know, this is 88 items, and I didn't have time to go through all of them. So I just like to pick the top 5 from all of them, and I'll show you the rest of them or share that, of course, with you as well. But these are things that come up related to all of the different players here. So the buyer doesn't tell the truth, has late payments on credit reports. They buy something big, after they do their loan application, they lose a job. I actually had one situation at a time where the guy was all excited. He said, I just quit my job. I have time now. Let's go ahead and do my refinance. People are naive. They don't understand these things, On the seller side, they can lose motivation to sell. They can't find a suitable replacement property. Sometimes, especially in the time of COVID, people are very sensitive about having people inside their house. And sometimes they have a particular possession that they can't let go of. Okay. And realtors. Oh yeah, this never happens to you guys, okay? But sometimes we don't have realtors that don't have control over their buyers. See, delays are sometimes not available, so delaying access. Paperwork, I definitely hear this a lot where it's never the buyer's agent, of course. It's always the listing agent that didn't do their paperwork, Let me see. Experienced, yeah, they haven't done the separate transaction, unexpected time off, okay? And then the lender. This is actually, of course, certainly where I get involved. I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm very, very thorough. And that said, there's still things that, believe it or not, after 25 years, it's the first time that I've heard of that. It's a pretty complex process, and in real life there are things that are different. So, actually, I need to speed up here. How much time do I have? I'm going to go as fast as I can here. Okay. So this right here, the property, and then I want to jump right over to this right here is the list. So this right here, you can't read this, I understand, but it's just one sheet that I prepared that has all of these different things that, could be issues for people, and just wanted to list that here. So I can share that with anybody who's interested. And then I want to talk really quickly about these things right here that come up for me as a lender. We're talking about capacity, that's about the payments, the credit, and then money, and of course the appraisal. Okay. So talking quickly about each one here. So capacity, these are the things that I have to scrutinize, is the durability of their income. Do they have a 2-year history? Is income expected to continue? The type of income is hugely important, especially if somebody is self-employed. That's something that can be interpreted or misinterpreted. And then people have seasonal work as well. And then, of course, credit. There's lots of different things on the credit report, especially nowadays with deferments for student loans and other types of debts. We still have to count them, and we want to make sure that these are all covered. Okay. And then capital, yes. So money also, I mentioned earlier about some assets that are not going to be usable, and we have to be really careful. Well, certainly something that's in checking or savings is fine, but anything in these other categories, stocks, retirements, gift funds, etc., they are going to add complexity to the transaction. So we want to be aware of these things. And then the collateral, of course, for the appraisal, these are things that come up. I guess the biggest concern these days, maybe not now, because until very recently, seems like all of the appraised values, even with the escalated prices, are actually coming in above, but I know that's going to change soon. And then to keep your buyer from having to pay extra fees and such, these are requirements that I always make sure before the appraisal, that we make sure we have smoke alarms, make sure the carbon monoxide detector is there, the water heater is double strapped. Okay, and this is actually something else that I made up. I just thought that this would be pretty cool to share, and I think you could use this as a checklist. If you are talking if you're the listing agent before you're going to accept an offer, you go through these and all the things that I just mentioned, and just use this as a checklist to make sure so that you have an expectation about what might come up, because all of these transactions are different. And I just put the thing in yellow right there because the borrower doesn't have control over the collateral, but that's something you certainly want to make yourself aware of. And this would be something like if you talk to the lender or if you talk to just to get a better understanding of what's going on. That way you can anticipate much better what might come up. Okay. And so solutions here. Oh yeah. And then as far as LoanDepot goes, just letting you know a little bit about some of the things that we do. For national loans, this is the jumbo loans. We have loans for people who can't show income, but they have money. We can actually just dissipate the assets. We have this amazing loan for investors where it's set up like apartment lending, where it's all we have to do is have the property make enough money to support the monthly payment, and we can do that. That's called a DPLP. We can do manufactured loan homes. We have down payment assistance. I mentioned 203K, renovation loans, certainly self-employed. And for condos, we can do non-warrantable condos as well. So, and also we reverse mortgages, we can do that as well. Okay. This is actually a flyer that I have. If anybody's interested, we could co-brand that for you and you can communicate to your customers, you know, what we have available. And then I mentioned the timeline and communication. That's something that's actually been really powerful for me. Nowadays, every time we open escrow, I produce a timeline with the actual date and the actual milestones that we're looking for. And quite honestly, we don't need all the milestones, but at least it's transparent. And then people know what's going on. And we can know that if the appraisal came in late, that means that the trend's gonna be late, you know, we're gonna sign late, etc. But if I put in a couple of days for a cushion, then we're still okay. And so this right here, I'm reading this book. I just love this book. Sometimes I read the chapter over and over and over again, but it's all about systems. And I just really love this. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So I preach this all the time, that whatever we have, just make sure you set that up so that things will flow smoothly for you. And that's it. Sorry, I spoke really fast, but I just checked that I was way over time, so I apologize. But hopefully that was valuable for you. And yeah, like I said, teaching is kind of what I do. So if you're curious about any of this stuff, want to go deeper at all, that's what I'm all about. Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for all that wonderful information. And yes, guys, please reach out to Jimmy if you want to get a little bit more one-on-one and network with him, because he was speaking fast to keep us on track. So thank you so much, Jimmy. We appreciate that. Now we will proceed back to Miss Jacqueline. I won't leave her out, to go ahead and introduce our last guest. We save the best for last. Well,
exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
And that is going to be Ariel with Termagon. So Jacqueline, please take it away.
Hi. Okay. Ariel de Guzman is the owner of Termagon Exterminators, a termite and pest control company. He's previously worked for another termite company for 20 years ago, but was inspired to start his own back in 2006. His 8-year service in U.S. Army has taught him the leadership and perseverance needed in order to run a company. Ariel has helped countless of happy clients rid their homes of pests, adding value to their property. Termagon Exterminators has stood the test of time by providing quality service and competitive prices. His mission is to spread awareness about the damage termites can do to a home, which can be happening without homeowners even realizing it. By doing this, he hopes to protect others from the property damage to their home. Ariel has also been passionate about real estate for 15 years. Many clients have been turned into happy homeowners with his commitment to the craft. He also spends his time connecting Filipino American descendants of his hometown in the Philippines through culture, educational, and charitable events in the Gapan City Association of Southern California. Everyone, I welcome you, Ariel de Guzman, the owner of Termagon Exterminators.
Hello, this is Ariel. It's gonna be a quick and easy presentation for me. I don't know if we can play the PowerPoint, but anyway, we're here to help each agent with regards to termite inspection is just a must for me, in my opinion, as an agent, to have a termite inspection also in when you do the home inspection. So pretty much they go hand in hand, for you to add value to the property. So
excuse me, could you, Jimmy Wakimoto, could you please stop sharing? I'm gonna switch the screen. Thank you. Just push the stop sharing. Thank you so much. Sorry, please go ahead, Ariel.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, so that's the bottom line. We're here for you guys in case. Oh, there you go. Yeah, for the presentation. So yeah, as I've said, well, this is the basic for termites. As you can see, they cost like $1 billion worth of damage without us noticing it, to each property. So and it's just the difference between the two, the dry wood and the subterranean that lives on the ground. So and on the next slide, I don't know if we could play. This is just the recent one.
Was worms, and now it's moved to flies.
Yeah, that's subterranean.
Då är inte externt då, hade du parashat. Eller förmodligen det köttet.
Yeah, as you can see, that's just recently, like a month ago. I guess that's the horror, when it comes to the real estate. So just and also just the in a report we called what section 1 and section 2, where as you can see, section 1 is the real damage infestation. And the difference is that the section 2 is just the, potential damage. So the examples, of course, is the, sprinkler hitting the house that can cause dry rot sooner or later. That will turn on to section 1 findings. So the two most worst thing that's gonna happen in a property are these ones, like the foundation damage without you knowing it, and of course, the roof will collapse if nobody inspected it for you, or whoever's the seller for that property. And of course, the two kinds of treatment, the 100% is the fumigation when you guys really needed it. We always tell the clients to do this one, is like the 100%. And of course, when they don't want it, we just advise them for the local treatment. So, and I guess that's it. For each listing, just call us, just to add value to your property and have a peace of mind to the buyer. And of course, when selling also. And I guess that's all, my presentation.
Thank you so much, Ariel. We appreciate you here at Women's Council, Beverly Hills. We appreciate your partnership and sponsorship and teaching us all about termites. So thank you so much for that. Now, everyone, at this time, I am going to turn the mic over to our wonderful president-elect, Ms. Cindy Wu. And Cindy's going to go ahead and proceed with the questions for our panel.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for that great presentation. And so first of all, I'd like to ask Jimmy. Jimmy, what is your outlook on the future of the local real estate market? and interest rate in 2022 and beyond? You are muted, Jimmy. Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, that's a very timely question. Certainly in these times, I have people, you know, since December, the interest rate went up like more than 2%. We're paying like, you know, $300 more per month, you know, from December. So unfortunately, the outlook for the interest rates is set to continue to increase. This is mainly due to inflation. Until we start to see the news that inflation is in check or something is you know, happening for it to start to slow down, we're going to see the same thing. And actually, the only vehicle for that we have right now is to increase the Fed funds rate. And the Fed funds rate is when you hear the news about how the Fed met and they raised interest rates. Well, everybody thinks that that's related to the mortgage rates. It's completely not. And it's going to be interesting too, because as they raise the rates, then the mortgage rates are actually going to come down. And more than a few people, some people very in the know are talking about how we're going to have a recession, pretty much for sure, because every time we have a situation like this, where for inflation, then we have the Federal Reserve steps in to slow down the economy. They always overshoot, and then we go into recession. So it's like inevitable. And if you look at the chart, it's like anybody could predict this. It's not anything that it is super special. It's going to happen. So that means that we're going to be going up in interest rates for maybe the balance of the year. Then after that, when we have the when we start to slow down inflation and start to get into recession conversation, then the rates will come down. And then as far as appreciation on property goes, people always compare this to 2008 and they wonder, but 2008 was kind of like the perfect storm for all of this, you know, where we had basically got a heartbeat, get a loan, you know, and we had severely limited supply. And so that, you know, caused, then we had the opposite. We had severely overbuilt. We were overbuilt. And so it's real basic, you know, Econ 101. We had too much supply and not enough demand. And you know today, I mean, I'm talking to people, there's like 80 offers on a property, 40, 20 offers on a property. And quite honestly, it only takes two. If you have two people who want to buy a property, then you're going to have appreciation. And, you know, even though the rates are going up, it's certainly going to slow that down. The appreciation will slow down from double digit to 6 to 8% or whatever, you know, but that's still appreciation. So, and for the realtors out there, you can have your buyers rest assured that they're not going to buy their property and suddenly go down, you know, and you know, as long as more than one person shows up, when it gets to be a half a person show up, then you're going to start to see a slowdown. But for now, it's going to continue to go up in price. So sorry, it's long-winded, but I'm passionate about this. So anyway.
Yes, that's why you're a loan officer and helping people to buy and their first home, right? Or move up. So thank you for all you do. And the next question will be for Pepper. And Pepper is also our Platinum Strategic partner. So thank you so much for all you do to make our network be able to run what we, you know, programs as such. So here's a question for you. So your horror story really scared us. And as we saw in the many examples that you shared. So we definitely don't want the same thing happen in our transactions. So if we partner with you, what's the practice to help us secure the escrow close on time and every time?
Thank you, Cindy. For this question, I would like to go back to my 14 months case, the vacant land. The realtor was really smart. When the escrow just opened, she obtained a quote with me already, even though the buyer still decided to use their own buyer insurance agent. But when something goes wrong, I can jump into it right away, get everything for her. So what are my recommendations to everybody? I don't mind do actual work. Every time when you have a listing, I can do a sample quote, give to you. You can put in your listing package, give to the buyer, tell them, I already have a quote for you. This is guaranteed, firmed, validated. If you want to move forward, insurance will not be a problem. If their insurance never performed, they can come back to this one. If you ever have a buyer, they already try to place an offer, we can start a quote with you for about 10 minutes. We can get everything for you, firmed, validated, confirmed. And the buyer, even though they are just about to set an offer, they already know they're going to have an insurance. It's not be a problem. So that's what we do as a practice. We will partner, we'll work with any realtor agent. Just give you peace of mind when everything even started.
Great. Thank you so much for that. Here's a question for you, Ariel. How will a term inspection add value to the property?
Hi, Cindy. Thank you. For the termite inspection, as I mentioned earlier, for every home inspection, in my opinion, you need to have a termite inspection as well. And in that way, you're going to give a peace of mind, you know, to the buyer of the property. And in a way, you're not going to get surprises, you know, when it comes to the condition of the property. So, you know, you're going to be adding value to that property.
Right. So it's always good to do the inspection so they know when they move in, they don't have to worry about it for a long time, and they can obviously increase the value because it decreases the liability once they move in, right? That's the worst thing you want to happen, because when you do a during inspection, it could potentially be a negotiation item with the seller. So there's just so many nuances as far as inspecting the property before you move in. So thank you so much for that. And I just want to remind everyone else that's on the panel with us or even on Facebook Live that if you have any question for our panelists, please do feel free to put in the chat. We do have somebody monitoring it, and also put on Facebook Live as well. So here's another question for you, Pepper, is some of my clients already have their own insurance agent. So, you know, I think everyone always either know a realtor or insurance person. That's probably the most licensed, you know, industry that's out there. So in this case, we just have the client deal with their agent. So what's your recommendation for us if the buyer's insurance agent does not perform? So let's just say in the middle of a transaction, they may already have an insurance agent that they're working with, and however, they become MIA. What's your suggestion with that?
Yeah, like I said before, maybe have a sample call from us as a good practice. And what I do, because we can do everything really fast and efficient because we use template and the system a lot. I'm going to share with everyone who like to get it from me. I'll share my template, what information you need to obtain from the client. Some of them can be easily obtained from a loan application or from any like offers, or all information can be really easy to obtain. I can share you the template. You can easily get them on hand. And when something doesn't work out, you have everything ready for another insurance call. And the thing is, there are many insurance agents or many insurance companies out there, but we're not sure if all of them understand the whole market, and then if all of them are professional or not. Sometimes I just feel when I have some urgent case or hard case come to me, it's really easy to me. I just feel like people are getting so comfortable in their comfort zone. So they have enough cases, so they are not like want to like step out or get some hard work, but that's not happening in my agency. And we love those hard cases. That make me proud. And then dealing with easy cases every day is happy, but dealing with hard cases, being able to help people, having an escrow offers a send me thank you letter, that make my day. I love to deal with scary cases just to help people move forward with their transaction. So what my recommendation is still get a sample quote from us, and I can share the template with you. You guys can know what an insurance agent will need to see when they want to obtain a quote. And also find an insurance partner like me who have been working with different insurance agency, and I select the farmers after work with 20 insurance agencies as a broker before. So I kind of know who can take care of whatever cases. I'll refer out and get a call for you, even though I cannot read it. I'll just do the best for you and your customer.
So it sounds like the best thing to do is, you know, even they may have insurance agent, never hurt to just ask you for a second quote, and then they can compare the services between one with another, and you never know, right? And it's great to know that you specialize in challenging cases, because we all need those in our in our life, and you're the doctor of insurance, right? And
yeah, and what I always say, I'm happy to be a backup plan for you guys, even though customer is my customer, but the realtors is actually my customer. What I want is to make your life easy. I don't want you guys driving on the road and answering phone call, get your phone, email me with all the information. I don't want to do, give me a call, give me a phone number. I'll call them, I'll get everything done and update you. So you will see everything just autopilot work out that way to save your time. I don't want any real estate professional to spend too much time on the insurance tedious work. We're going to do those for you. You just focus on the transaction. And another recommendation for all the realtors, maybe, just I never recommend realtors to recommend a cheap insurance to their clients. Some realtors come to me, give me a cheap price. But the thing is, insurance industry is you pay what you get. There's so many differences in the policy, not just a whole form. Yeah, if I recommend a cheap insurance to a client, they ever have a problem in claim or service, they come back to me. So I'd rather you to recommend a expensive insurance or somehow a little bit more paid insurance. But if the client decline, they decline it. If I ever have a problem, that's not your problem. So that's my recommendation to all the partners.
Great, thank you. So thank you for being a one-stop shop for all insurance needs. So next is another question for Ariel. So do you have any current promotions? As you mentioned, it's so important to have termite inspection, right? When after you're in escrow, or even on a regular routine every 3 year, every 5 year process. So is there any current promotions that you have currently?
Yeah, as you know, for now, we give like 4 members of Women's Council. We give like $150 inspection fee at the same time with certification. And for non-members, I would say $195 for non-members. That's for certification and inspection as well.
Great. That's definitely an excellent rate. I know usually for my clients, I recommend all the inspections, including the termite, so you know what you're getting yourself into. So thank you so much for offering that discount to our Women's Council members. And that's another member of being with us. And we did put in the chat, we'll put it again, that for those of you that's joining us via Facebook Live or in our Zoom, that if you're not currently a member, please do join us. And there's a discount if you are currently a Greater LA Association of Realtor member as well. It's almost like it's a lot of discount. So that's another one of your great member benefit. And the last question I would direct to Jimmy. So Jimmy, some of my clients... okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, there we go. All right. So another question for you, Jimmy, is how can you as a lender help realtors get more listing or help in general, right? As we all know, there's many realtors that's on the call here with us, that real estate has so many different facets, where I often talk about it like a doctor's office. We are the receptionist, we are the nurse, we are the surgeon, where everything there is. So how can you help us get more business?
Yeah, thanks for that, because I know that some real estate agents I talk to, it's like, well, what am I going to do with another buyer? You know, what am I going to do with the 10 other buyers they can't find properties for, right? So I really started thinking about, you know, how I can help the realtors get more listings. And so for me, it kind of turns around the understanding of, you know, all of the people here, actually all of them, even in the audience, is we're all trusted advisors, you know, and people depend on us to, you know, point them in the wrong direction to improve their lives, right? And so for me, the things that I came up with is, you know, we kind of can't set ourselves apart with saying, you know, I'm the best, you know, I'm the fastest, I'm the whatever it is, you know. So I think to add value, then to be a better trusted advisor, the things that I'm talking to real estate agents about now are SB 9, Proposition 19, and Heckin for purchase. Those things I think are all really powerful ways, that stuff that other people are not talking about. And SB9 is the one where we can split the lot. So every single family lot in California, if the configuration works, essentially becomes eligible for 4 units. And not just that, it can actually be a lot split as well. So now a lot of realtors don't know about that. So you can bet the consumers don't know about it either. But if the realtor can be the one who communicates to them that, hey, you can do this, then that might cause them to sell a property, list their income property for sale, because they can go onward and upward with opportunity, and then they'll want to capitalize on it because, of course, their equity has never been higher, and this is the opportunity to move up and, maybe go from, into units, right? And then the Prop 19 thing, that changed the way that taxation is set up for people age 55 and over. And so, they don't have the tax breaks that they used to just go ahead and transfer property to their heirs. So something that they had as a plan actually doesn't work anymore. And also, somebody thought that, as far as the property tax goes, they didn't understand maybe, or they don't understand that, before there's only 11 other counties they could move from to be able to get the reciprocation for keeping their property tax low, but it changed to the entire state of California. So now you can actually move anywhere, and you might upsize in home size, but then you might downsize in home price. So that means that you can actually just retain, get the lower, retain your current tax basis if it's better for you, So stuff like that really people don't know about. So for the trusted advisor, if you go out there and share this with them, then they can really, create more listings, right? And the third one also around listings is reverse mortgage, Heckin for purchase. When I put out there that, if somebody can do 30% or 50% down on a property, and, people who have free and clear houses, they can do that, So if they do that, and if they purchase with a reverse mortgage, they can actually get their new house and they can have no mortgage payment. So a lot of these people aren't moving because they think, gee, my house is free and clear. I don't want to get a new mortgage. If we present the solution to them that, what, you can start a $600,000 condo, okay, free and clear, and, get 500,000 of it, say, and, have that be 50% down on $1 million property and have no mortgage payment. So it's pretty amazing that you actually have leftover money in that case, and they can give it to their kids who can now buy a new house and need to list their house for sale too, So I just think it can be really exciting as far as, helping create more inventory. And then just overall, I mentioned a few times before that it's my passion to teach. I just kind of open my mouth and I teach. And I also coach. I coach, some of my co-workers here that are new, and kind of help them grow. So that's something I do automatically as well. As far as LoanDepot goes, I went through this really fast, but we have so many tools that, we can help out your clients with, so they can do that, make those offerings. And then, yeah, I listed right here technical because I've actually done a whole bunch of websites. And so I get technical pretty well. So if anybody actually needs help with technical stuff, I'm pretty well versed in all that as well. So that's some of the ways I can help.